I'd like to just go through PhD's range of down-filled socks because we've got quite a lot of different socks and they're designed for different jobs in the mountains. The first ones I want to look at are the Amigo socks. These are used for high altitude mountaineering and polar exploration and polar travel. They're unusual socks in that they're covered in waterproof fabric and the seams are all taped with a hot seam sealer. So that seam and that seam and that seam are all completely taped so that they will take a certain amount of dampness. Obviously they're not designed for really wet conditions, but if the snow's a little bit damp or you happen to walk out from your tent in the evening and it's a little bit slushy around, these will protect the down very well. Now, down socks are designed primarily for sleeping in. Their primary role is not to walk around in, it is for sleeping in, so to boost the insulation in the sleeping bag. And also they are suitable for use around camp when you're eating and things like that, to keep your feet warm. I'd like to go to the Xero socks next. Now these are similar to the Amigos in warmth, but these are specifically designed for high altitude mountaineering. They're lighter and they compress down much smaller. They're made in dry shell fabric, which is going to give it some proofing against damp, so if there's condensation in the tent it will protect the down. And the soles on these, we have a heavy Tempest sole on them just to protect the fabric if you're walking about a little bit in them. They've got cord adjusters for the ankles, and their main design feature here is for very low temperatures at high altitude. You'd use these on the 8,000 or 7,000 metre peaks, even on the 6,000 metre peaks if you'd like to. But the main design brief here is that they're very compressible and packed down small. They go into a fairly small stuff sack, so that when you're not using them, they're not taking up too much space in your rucksack. Those are the Xero socks. So pretty small for the insulation that you're getting out of those. So the Xero socks and the Amigo socks are also made in a long version that comes up to your knees or just below the knee. It's got a full length zip at the back for easy entry. And as I say, they come up for extra warmth up your calves. Okay, so that's the long socks. The next pair of socks that we have in our range are the Mera socks. These are they're effectively similar to the Xero socks, but they're not quite as warm. So they're lighter, they pack down smaller, and they're less insulated, but suitable for the namesake Mera Peak, trekking in the Himalayas, any cold situation, but up to about 6,000, 6,500 metre peaks, the Mera socks. These ones are made in black, but we normally make them in red nowadays. The next socks we designed were in fact the Minimus socks. Now these are exceptionally light socks. They're made in M1 fabric for lightness. They're a very simple sock, and the primary design here was to make them as light as possible. And so for anybody with cold feet, whether it's camping in the UK or the Alps or the Himalayas, even quite modest camping, then the Minimus socks are absolutely superb. And again, they pack down very small. The Minimus socks, we go lighter again, and we have our new socks, which are the wafer socks. These are the lightest of any socks that's ever been designed. They're only 45 grams. Again, very simple, very light. They've got lycra on the ankle, and they pack down into quite a small stuff sack. Really for sleeping in. You wouldn't walk around in these for too much because they're not designed for it. They have their own stuff sack and pack down very, very tiny. And that's them.